Wangwana, syllabus inakimbia mbio. Umesikia that elections should be held next week Tuesday. Yani, we should go for presidential elections on Tuesday next week. I'm not kidding. This is what the court ruled, a Malindi court, a high court that in Malindi that has ruled that the next general election should be held on Tuesday, August 11, 2026, and not 2027. You know, I was sitting somewhere having some tea in a restaurant, and a guy took out his phone and read, then gasped, loudly, kwani tuko mwezi gani? Actually, he asked, kwani tuko mwaka gani? Because how on earth can we all of a sudden be told that we should be heading for a general election next week? Nice your jaba. This is a real story. And you remember Willis Otieno? Willis Otieno spoke about this thing last year kwa Obina show na nikafikiria ni jaba. Ebu, let me find the clip and play for you. The clip on this. Willis Otieno in Obina show last year was among the first person that explained. Actually, I think he was the only person that time who was trying to explain this to the country, and people thought, no, something is wrong with him. But you know what? He was actually right. Actually, in every sense. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Being the second Tuesday,
You know,
5th year.
Being the second Tuesday of August in every 5th year. A plain reading of that alone, forget even about being a lawyer.
Okay.
The first thing it tells you that the elections is conducted in
the 5th
year. Not after, not every 5 years.
Okay.
It is done in the 5th
In
year.
the 5th year.
And
Where?
your duty now becomes to find out the 5th year. Then once you find the 5th year, inside it, look for the second Tuesday
In August.
in August. So you count 9th of August 22, to 8th of August 2023. That is 1 year. So that when we are starting 9th of August 23, we have now moved to the next year. So year 1 is 9th of August 22, ends on 8th of August 23. That's year 1.
Okay.
Year 2 is 9th of August 23 to 8th of August 24. Year 3 is 9th of August 24 to 8th of August 25. Year 4 is 9th of August 25 to 8th of August 26. Then the most important is year 5, running from 9th of August 2026, ending on the 8th of August 2027. Write that one down. Year 5 runs from 9th of August 2026, and it ends on the 8th of August 2027. You are told in Article 136(2)(a) to find the second Tuesday in August inside the 5th year and conduct your elections. Can only be in 2026. If it had said after 5 years, we will have done it in 2027. If it had said every 5 years, it will have been in 2027. But it said inside the 5th year, 9th of August 26 to 8th of August 27. Find the second Tuesday in August.
Does the president know Mempange? Yo, so basically elections in 2026.
2026. But legacy politicians have been lying to Kenyans.
An election of the president shall be held
Yes.
on the same day as a general election of members of parliament, being the second Tuesday in August in every 5th year.
You heard that? The judge proved Willis, Advocate Willis Otieno right. However, the judge also declined that this should not be, implemented until after the next election. I don't know what that means, but he first declared that holding the next presidential election any other date rather than Tuesday of August 2026 would violate several provisions of the Constitution. When going ahead to mention the articles and sub-articles that are affected or violated. As well as declaring that an election held any other date would consequently be null and void. However, the judge suspended the declaration of invalidity until after the next general election to allow IEBC an opportunity to correct the identified constitutional defect. I think hapa the judge alicheza na akili yetu, but what do we know? I want to play you the news press, the news that was run by KTN, as well as the press given by Willis Otieno after the judgment, so that you can be able to follow.
Strictly mandates general elections to be held on the second Tuesday of August in the fifth year poll after the fifth year has fully elapsed.
The date as ascertained in our constitution and affirmed by the court. The next presidential elections in Kenya are to be held next week on Tuesday.
According to lawyer Willis Otieno, who is part of the legal counsel that presented the petition challenging the interpretation of the constitutional provisions governing the timing of presidential elections and the length of the president's term.
As petitioners, we'll be asking the court that 1 year is 1 year too long. 1 year is too long for somebody to exercise a donated sovereign power beyond what will be permissible. William Ruto and another presidential candidate must go back to the people. The last general elections ought to have been held in August 2021. And Uhuru Kenyatta stole our sovereignty by 1 year by serving as president until 2022. And that is what, in our case, that delinquency my partner is talking about is what we are trying to cure. That nobody should ever usurp the sovereignty of the people of Kenya by extra 1 year.
IBC, however, is alleged to have challenged the petition, arguing that the interpretation would create an absurd constitutional outcome by shortening the terms of elected leaders. Justice Mugure Thande, in her ruling, interpreted that because the 2022 general election was held on 9th August, President William Ruto's first year in office should have ended on the 8th August 2023, with his final term thereafter falling on this month, with the earliest second Tuesday of August and this fifth year being 11th August.
Let me say, William Ruto, your time is up. On Tuesday, you become nothing more than a president who has been given mandate by a court because of logistical issues, nothing else.
However,
every word in the Constitution matters. Law is very interesting, and it's also interesting how the lawyers argue. Remember, judges are also lawyers. The Constitution says that the election must be held within the 5th year. So, the Tuesday after 9th August next year is, of course, outside the 5th year. It will have entered the 6th year, making the only Tuesday of August within the 5th year to be next week. But I think Willis is an interesting guy. You remember how he argued, he actually argued very well during the petition, the last 2022 election petition. He was in the Azimio side. He was an Azimio lawyer. And he put on a spirited argument and caused a lot of laughter as well as he made his submissions. I want to play you some of the clip about his argument. And that's why I thought, at first I thought so he was joking until now the court ruled, made this ruling. I listened to how he argued during the petition of the last general.
That is what I'm saying. My grandmother calls Nairobi Karafu. And my niece, Pinky, Pinky, Ponky, Pacamielo Disco. Because he called both of them. He called both of them. And he was the only person who knew who the disco would land on. It could have been either of them. It could have been William Ruto. It could have been Raila Odinga. We've reduced it to Mimi's childhood game of Piki, Piki, Ponky, Pacamielo Disco.
Yes. He had to be stopped because he was getting a bit carried away and apologized. But he's an extremely funny guy, as well as a very.
If you look at we've attached the PSC report, again, finds an indictment of the same person sitting in meetings where is conflict.
Remember, he came up with the explanation about the plumber. You remember that hilarious analogy that he gave. I want to play that as well. He really amused. He did Justice Jockey Dongo on that analogy. So that's all, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow or the next day so that we can look at any other issue arising. If you want us to discuss anything, technical things, political things, no topic is out of the table. If you want us to discuss space science, nuclear physics, any discussion that is of matter to human beings, we can do this on this channel. Just comment.
It's 3 o'clock.
What topic you would prefer. So thank you for now and see you in the next video.